just editing the thumbnail. I gotta email it to myself. I love these thumbnails, man.
Yeah, they are nice.
They're awesome. They make us look so much more professional.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry, I just came back from class. I'm a little all over
Oh, no, you're good. Got class this late?
Yeah, a lot of the business school classes are pretty late.
Hmm.
A lot like my classes don't start until 11:40 at the latest or at the earliest.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of stinks for like the wise guys and everything else, but it's great for sleeping.
Yeah. True. Wait.
All right, we're up. We're live. We're getting started. I figured we start Monday night. We start most recent, and then we'll do our wise picks. We'll just go from there.
Give me that.
All right. So on the notebook. All right. You ready? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. You say yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Working on our spreadsheet.
Oh, before we start, let me grab my water. It's right over here. I'll be 2 seconds. All right. You ready?
Ready.
Let me. All right. I'm pulling up sending it out, and then I'm started. Sorry for the. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Cool. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
It feels good to be back on a Tuesday, Chris. It really means the NFL is in full swing because that means we're recapping games.
Right.
So Monday night, New York Jets, Buffalo Bills.
Right into it.
Yeah, we're going right into it.
Skipping a beat.
Yeah, no, we're not skipping a beat. Yeah, it does. It does.
Sucks for the Jets.
Okay, wait.
Like even
for the
guys
fans,
like us.
For the fans at home, he comes in, Aaron Rodgers for the New York Jets. We spent how much air have we exhausted talking about him to the Jets? And years, or yeah, like podcast hours wasted talking about him on the Jets and all this stuff, Hard Knocks, all the kit caboodle, all for him to play 107 seconds and tear his Achilles.
Actually sounds longer when you phrase it that way.
I know, right? He played for 4 plays, didn't get a yard, and might end his career in the NFL right then and there.
What is it? It's Achilles. That's what
It's his Achilles, yeah.
the consensus
And he's
is.
what, 37 years old?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw ankle, because I didn't even have the game on yet.
No, I didn't have it on yet either.
When I saw ankle, I assumed that maybe he like dislocated his ankle or something. I was like, all right, well that's a bummer, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Achilles probably is the worst thing in the world.
I was just about to say that's probably
I don't know if there's
a
an
nightmare.
injury outside of like DeMar Hamlin injury, like doesn't get much worse than a torn Achilles when you're 39 years old.
Yeah, and for as you were saying, as a sports injury, no matter what the sport, you hear Achilles torn, right. At least like a year and a half, 2 years.
It's a death sentence.
Yeah. So, and as you said, 39 years old. He might never this might be it. This might be it. And for this to be like the ending of the Aaron Rodgers career, like they have to win a Super Bowl this year, right? This is like their team of destiny now. Like this is like a complete storybook ending that would be the only way that storybook could get even more storybook, I guess. They finally get the player that the Jets have waited for 20 years for this player. Literally for this singular player for 20 years. And they can't get 1 yard out of him. Can't get 1 yard. And now they're stuck back to fucking Zach Wilson.
It is sad.
Like, it's devastating.
As much as we've ripped on Jets
and Rodgers,
complained about the coverage and Rodgers and Jen, like it does suck.
Well, and
quickly. It wasn't even like they couldn't even get their hopes up. They couldn't have even won like a game or two. I don't know if that would have been worse. But it had to happen that quick. Like, think about how being in that stadium and how quickly the life is just sucked out.
Yeah, at home.
Are you kidding me? Like, we haven't had something good as a fan base since like Rex Ryan.
Yeah, since they won that.
Like your last successful team. Even that, it's like you had Mark Sanchez, you had one really good year, but right, you had the Fitzpatrick year, and you had last year, and that's like it. And last year they didn't make. I don't think Fitzpatrick even made the playoffs.
No, I don't think he did either. I
think they just missed him.
They just they just had him. He was one of their best quarterbacks since it feels like Namath almost. But yeah. And so now, does this put Zach Wilson, when you look at his aspect? He played what, 2 good years at BYU? Did he even have 2 good years, or was it 1 good year?
I think it was just the one, if I remember correctly.
Boom, you're the savior of New York. You have to go save this franchise that everyone's tried and no one's been able to do it. You, of course, like, reasonably, you suck. You're terrible. You're put in a terrible situation with a bad organization. They throw you out there. You stink. Your confidence is destroyed. They trade for Aaron Rodgers. Teammates of your team are tweeting at Aaron Rodgers on like, come to the Jets. All these free agents come because of Aaron Rodgers. All this hype
over him, basically.
Literally, a whole Hard Knocks is like a documentary of Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, and now he's back and he has to lead this team again. Is that like? Do you think this is just he's going to be stuck in this cycle of bad situations, or is this like maybe he could make this a good situation?
For his sake, I want to say he could make it a good situation. I think that the book's already been written on him, though.
That's what I think too. And what sucks is
given a fair shot. Like, they had a good. You said when he was drafted, it was a bad situation. They turned it around last year. Like, they had.
Yeah, they did.
Pieces surrounding him. They had the good defense. He was horrible. Like, possibly the worst quarterback in the NFL. It's not a stretch to say that at all. So The way I'm thinking about it is like they are probably going to get somebody
To start, or
this
like as like
team.
insurance.
I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody like let me
Like
look up free agents.
yeah, like I saw the free agents list
There's
today. It's like
names.
Carson Wentz, it's Matt Ryan, it's
Ryan,
Philip Rivers for some
Cam,
reason. Who? Cam.
Cam.
Kaepernick's always out there.
I mean, Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz, I think, are better than Zach Wilson.
Oh. Okay, let's play this game. Let's play this game now. The Washington Commanders have no quarterback. They have a choice of Matt Ryan or Zach Wilson. What do you choose? You have to root for that.
Context. It depends on context.
No. No context. In a vacuum. I just want to hear. I want to hear it in a vacuum.
In a vacuum?
You can get 24-year-old Zach Wilson or 39-year-old Matt Ryan. Or
Is this for 1 season or like?
Yeah, just for
how
this.
long am I committed?
No, just for this season. You figure it out after the season.
I take Matt Ryan.
Oh, after last year, he was worse last year.
Zach Wilson.
I know. All right, we got to look at some stat comparisons here. And I know Matt Ryan got benched twice. I think Zach Wilson also got benched twice. So,
at least.
Yeah, because he got Matt Ryan's. Well, he got benched by Mike White, and then didn't they have some other guy that they started over him too? All right, last year. No way, this is true. Where's the season?
Yeah, Matt Ryan did suck.
It's terrible. He played in 12 games.
He threw for 3,000 yards last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in 14 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Something.
The issue was he's like, I think the real issue with these veterans. I think if I get a veteran, I don't know. I'm not like, that's not a sign to me that like, I think I'm gonna keep being competitive. I think that's just kind of like Zach Wilson sucks and we're kind of doomed, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you do because at first I was gonna come into it saying that like this team is to win this Super Bowl this year. The outside of the quarterback position, the rest of the roster is pretty young. So it's probably a lost season this year, but you're not like completely screwed. Sell the farm for Rodgers or anything.
No, and interesting aspect is
get somebody next year.
The pick that the Jets gave up for Aaron Rodgers will become a second-round pick because Aaron Rodgers will not play 70% of the season. So that's good for the Jets. It was going to be a first-rounder if he played 70%, but now it's going to be a second-rounder. So dub for the Jets, L for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers screws the Packers.
I'm sure they'd rather have it the other way.
One more time.
What?
I said Aaron Rodgers screws the Packers one more time. I have a first round. So I think.
We were talking about that. I pulled up Wilson's.
Yeah, no, his stats are worse. I looked.
His QBR was lower than Matt Ryan's.
Yeah, all of it's bad.
Not by much, but it was lower.
His stats. Wait. Before you read off the rest, his stats from his career are 2 touchdowns and 5 picks and 1,000 yards better than Matt Ryan's last year. So maybe you're right. That's his career. His career, he only has 1,000 more yards, 2 more touchdowns, and he has 5 more picks than what Matt Ryan did last year. That's bad. In 2 years.
His rookie year, his QBR was 28.
Oh, oof. Wow.
It's not good. Obviously, stats aren't everything, but it's not like the eye test is showing us.
It's not much better. Yeah, it's not much better.
No, it might be worse. Honestly.
Yeah, I think the only reason why I was thinking the eye test, I think the eye test is worse for Matt Ryan. He's just, come on.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And Wentz.
Eye test.
I would rather have Wilson than Wentz for the eye test too. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would too.
And Cam, dude,
like,
and Cam.
sometimes.
Cam's gonna throw it in the dirt. Like, Cap, come on now. Like I saw the thing, it was like Kaepernick has reached out to the Jets. It's like, dude, you were hoping at the age of like 28, you're now like 37.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He's
I feel like we're
35 years old.
finally at that point where his name's not actually being thrown around
But it
seriously.
was. This morning it was like, oh, his camp reached out. I don't think it's serious. It's never serious. When has it ever been serious? He did that workout where
They would like he first left the NFL. There were a couple times, and then
Yeah.
didn't he have an actual
Yeah, he
workout
had a
with the
workout.
Broncos?
Was it with the? Did he have one with the Broncos? I know he had like that. Remember, he had
thought
that
the
camp
Broncos
in
were involved
2020
somehow.
where like he had like a bunch of wide receivers come out and stuff like that. I don't know. We're wasting our time talking about Kaepernick. Talking about the game itself, because we haven't mentioned a minute of the game. Where do you want to start on the game? I mean, Josh Allen looked terrible. Oh, did I lose you for a minute? Christopher. All right, I think I lost Chris for a minute. While we're waiting on that, let's talk about the options for quarterback. And one hypothetical that we could talk about here while we wait for Chris is something I thought interesting. I saw it on Twitter. The best option for the New York Jets would be Andrew Luck coming out of retirement. Super Bowl contenders right there if that happens. Hello? Chris. Oh,
My connection is falling apart.
what's up? I hear you now.
Hey, I'm back for the moment. I don't have an Ethernet port on this laptop, unfortunately, so we're just gonna have to ride it out.
All right.
But
How delayed are we?
it's not the delay; it's like the choppiness.
Yeah. It's some yeah. Well, I was just talking about a
Full power
hypothetical
through.
while we were waiting on you of Andrew Luck going to the Jets. It's not worth discussing, but I just threw it out there while we were wasting some time.
That was the first thing that I heard when I reconnected was Andrew Luck, and I was like, "Oh dear."
You're like, what did I do? I gotta get this connection back ASAP. He's
Going
going
calling
off
for
the rails.
20 seconds, and we're talking about Andrew Luck.
He's going off the rails. He's going off the rails immediately. Well, talking about the game itself, Josh Allen had a pretty poor performance. 3 interceptions, all to Jordan Whitehead, who... Oh, did I lose you again? Anyways, Jordan Whitehead has, in his contract, if he gets 3+ interceptions, he gets like $250 more million or $1,000, and he got it all in one game. So good for that guy. Are you officially back?
It is pretty wild.
Oh no, the delay maybe. Hello,
This is a nightmare.
Chris. No, this is brutal.
All right, hopefully this one works a little better.
Hello.
How do I sound?
You sound good. Sound like you're back.
All right. My apartment has like 15 different networks, and you just like pick one basically.
Oh God.
Oh, I guess I was on the wrong one.
Are they all like the same password?
There's no passwords.
Oh, that's great.
They all have like the same. They all have the same name with like a bunch of letters.
No, that's awesome.
So
That sounds very secure.
yeah, it's that's why I use an Ethernet for work, but my Mac has nothing. So
All right. Well, we're good.
anyway,
It sounds like we're good
quick
now.
Little inside baseball there.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Bills. Still no rushing game, really. I mean, James Cook looked better than he did last year. Josh Allen is still the lead running back, it seems like. And Allen could not stop turning the ball over. It was like rookie year Josh Allen. Just turned
It
back
was
the
like he
clock.
wanted to be throwing interception.
Oh, he loved it. He was all over it.
He was like on Mad when you throw one and then you just like you're
Yeah,
like, all right, I have to stop just chucking it deep.
Yeah,
It
you
just
are.
kept happening.
Yeah, and you just keep chucking it deep.
So I do relate to that, I guess, but I don't see that very often, especially from a guy like that. And it sucks for him too, because like this is kind of the first year in a few years where people are doubting because of how poorly last season ended. And instead of coming out and like proving everybody wrong and saying we're still here, he has had an absolute meltdown
Against Zach Wilson.
on national TV against Zach Wilson. Yeah, Zach Wilson, like he just didn't have to do anything to win that game.
No, not at all. Really, not
Like
at
they
all.
need to put together 1 or 2 drives. That's it.
And they did. They got the touchdown drive. They needed that
Yeah,
touchdown
they
drive, and
did.
that's it. Yeah,
Ugh.
and this game
But
was like kind of boring. You
yeah,
know,
no, it was not a great
it
game.
was not like
It was cool to see New York all like with a buzz though.
yeah, until the Buzz got immediately shot down.
Well, then like they got it back
Yeah, they got it back. It was cool. The
after
Buzz was good at the end.
10th interception.
And
Yeah,
the ending was great. It was a great ending.
that gives you flashbacks to last
Oh
year's
yeah,
Patriots.
yeah.
That was
I
like
mean,
the first thing I thought of.
that's
Like
the same.
again.
Yeah, and I was like, no way, the Jets like corrected themselves. I was like, they got the karma back. No, that's exactly what it reminded me of. And that guy is a rookie that they actually his name is Xavier Gibson. And on Hard Knocks, they like fake cut him.
What?
They were like they brought him into the meeting, making him think he was gonna get cut, and they were like, "Ah, you're cool. I like you. You're gonna stay." And then so now so he got his little screen time, and then he got his punt return. That's cool. It's a cool story.
Love it.
The Jets, even though there was some travesty to start off, the Jets came out as big winners here.
Oh yeah.
Like as in, I guess now saying that, I mean they still have lost Aaron Rodgers, but they take one over
Well, they
Buffalo.
won a game.
They won a game. They're and coming up, I mean they're facing the Cowboys, the Pats, the Chiefs, so they have some tough ones coming up. But
Oh, you know what I just realized, which is like a very third world problem, but because Aaron Rodgers was supposed to play the whole year,
oh yep.
Jets were in all of these primetime games.
We'll see
and
them
now we have to watch them
with Zach Wilson.
like probably 8 times with Zach Wilson.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 primetime games if you count Thanksgiving as a primetime game.
Who's the Thanksgiving game?
The Dolphins Jets 3 p.m. That's a eat your
3 p.m.
Yeah, that's a eat your lunch at that point. Eat your Thanksgiving dinner. Call
Wait,
it
what's
day.
the deal with Thanksgiving? I thought it was Lions at 12, Cowboys at 4.
Nah, I think sometimes they flex the Cowboys into Sunday or Thursday night.
I think so.
Well, I don't know. 3 p.m. is Dolphins. That's all I know. Dolphins, Jets.
We'll figure that out.
But
later.
so yes, we will be watching a lot of Zach Wilson on primetime. And I don't know when they can start flexing, but the next primetime is week 4 against the Chiefs, where we've never seen Rodgers Mahomes. We've never seen Rodgers Mahomes as a
actually
game.
Oh yeah, because Jordan Love played last year.
Yeah, because Rodgers had a injury, and then Mahomes had COVID the other time they played.
Oh.
And they never played against each other, and they probably now never will.
Probably will not play each other. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. All right, we're talking a lot about this game. Anyways, Bills look terrible. I'd love to see it. They really they stunk. They didn't look good at all.
Yeah, that was really bad.
And I don't know if it
was actually hard to watch. It was like every offensive possession, you were just expecting them to throw the end.
Yeah, just do something stupid. And I don't know.
You're right. Like it was rookie year Josh Allen. That's what it felt like.
He just put on he thought he was Superman, and he just looked a lot like Clark Kent out there.
Yeah, if that.
So if you could fathom Clark Kent, is this going to be a trend for the Buffalo Bills, or is this something that we should just write off to Aaron Rodgers? All right, yeah, that seems like an overreaction.
I think you write that off.
Yeah, I think we write that off too. All right, let's talk about our wise
picks. 2 games in a row where they haven't looked good.
That is true.
So they're trending downwards.
That is true.
Can't ignore that.
Wise Picks was great for us this week, Chris.
Oh yeah,
it was absolutely spectacular. We'll take a 4-2 week every single week of the season. Let's review our picks. I had the completed picks was my Titans +3, my Packers +1.5, Chris's Rams +5.5 or +5, and Buccaneers +6. First Wise Bowl winner.
I took the money lines.
I know. You would have been a rich man.
He's swimming.
So the ones that lost were the Colts +4.5 and my Vikings -6 because we did a Wise Bowl. The first Wise Bowl of the season. I'm actually keeping track of our standings this year. I have it
I
written
feel like
down.
this is the first one I've won in a while.
And Chris has won the Wise Bowl. He's 1-0 over me. Give it up to Chris. And let's just, yeah, there you go. Give it a little round of applause. Let's start out with the first game. Let's start out the Wise Bowl, actually. This was an absolute shocker from you called it. You were all over it. Tip your cap. You were all over it. And
Cycle.
really don't know
So
what happened here.
there was one rule that had to be broken there. It was either the Baker Mayfield cycle or the Kirk Cousins at 1 p.m. And it was the Kirk Cousins at 1 p.m. And it's funny because if you look at his numbers, it's such a classic Kirk Cousins game.
Yeah, no, he did great.
33 for 44, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, wow, he's a great quarterback.
I think he's like the second leading passer in the league right now because of that stat line. I think he had the second best game of the week or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's not surprising.
Justin Jefferson, 9 catches, 150 yards. I think he had 12 catches or 12 yards in the second half or something crazy like that. He just like completely fell off in the second half. Yeah. This game wasn't really on Red Zone. It wasn't all like I didn't watch it specifically. So I don't know what happened. Like, do you really know what happened?
I mean, well, no, and here's the thing. You're going to have to kind of lead me through these 1 o'clock games.
You were there. Yes, you're right.
So I have
idea.
No
idea what happened. Okay. They barely showed this game on Red Zone.
Like all the highlights of
yeah,
games,
maybe we should have, but it's okay.
Sure, a better man would have. Apologies.
It like when you look at the Bucks, I don't even know how they came up with 20 points. I know Baker has 2 touchdowns, but like he had 173 yards. Rachaad White had 2.3 yards a carry. They gave it to their fullback Sean Tucker 5 times. Mike Evans had a touchdown. I saw that Mike Evans touchdown. That was a nice touchdown. I didn't see the Trey Palmer I remember hearing about, but I don't remember seeing. And I guess the defense just held up. It looks like the defense just like it was able to like they only got 2 sacks.
Did they lose that much on defense?
No, they lost the main cornerback Murphy Bunting. He's on the Titans, and I think that's about it. Everyone else is pretty much the same.
So it's still like a pretty solid defensive unit.
It's a solid roster. It's just a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
It looks like from the Viking side, if I were to guess, I would guess that the second half consisted of a lot of runs and a lot of 3 and outs. And just a lot of punting.
And
it just ended
poorly timed interception.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not
It's like
the Kirk Cousins special.
Yeah,
it's every Kirk Cousins game. That's kind of what it seemed to be. So that's the first Wise Bowl.
The opposite of what the Vikings were last year.
Yeah.
Which is like find a way to win. This is like find a way to lose.
I would love if that was the Vikings this year. In 1-score games, they're like 0-11.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, they're completely the opposite. That would be awesome to me. I would find that hilarious.
Well, you're a Vikings hater this year, aren't you?
Not a Vikings hater. I guess if I were like when we were discussing them, I was down on them. Yes, I wouldn't call myself a hater. I have no ill will.
Bears is who.
Yeah, I hate the Bears.
We'll get to that.
Let's get to that right now. Actually,
all right.
The Packers plus 1.5 at the Bears. Bears stink, fellas. The Bears are bad. It looked like the same goddamn team as last year. And you know why? Because they are the same team. They have DJ Moore now. That's the only difference. This team
This was hard to watch. This was really hard to watch.
And the Packers...
It'd be one thing if, like, Fields went off and they lost in, like, a shootout, but, like, this was just an ass-kicking.
No, yeah, this is bad. This is real bad. It was all the same problems as last year. And the Packers just capitalized on it. They played.
I mean, if you listen to us, like, you wouldn't be surprised by that.
No, not one whatsoever. Jordan Love. This is not his first start, right? Because he started against the Chiefs that COVID year. But
you might have played another game.
It's got to be his first dub, right?
I think so.
Well, it's his first Bears dub, and he did not miss a beat. I mean,
Yeah, he looked solid.
He looked solid.
But it was so easy for them.
Oh yeah.
It's not like he was doing anything fantastic.
No, everything was easy. All these wide receivers were wide open. Aaron Jones just ran all the way down the field.
And like at the start of the third quarter, they're talking about how like, the Packers need to get Aaron Jones more involved, and then that drive, it's just like Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones.
Yep. And
So easily moving.
I think like this kind of shows. I think what we underrated a lot when talking about the Packers is Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur is like he's just. I think he's one of the smarter coaches that no one talks about because they had Rodgers all those times. So
and they had a couple like
they had
meltdowns.
Yeah, they had some terrible meltdowns. But when you look at that, like this, it makes sense. If you, as you said, if you listen to us and we did the preview, everything we talked about in the preview came true. And I had a Bears fan watching with me, and he was like, "Oh, why can't we just beat the Packers ever?" Why did you think this was the time you were going to beat the Packers? I don't understand. I didn't.
Well, it's like the bad man was gone. Like you've
Yeah.
gone 25 years of Rodgers and Favre, and you're like, all right, now it's this new kid, Jordan Love. Like, haven't seen anything from him yet. You know, the game that he did play wasn't impressive. Like we have Fields. Like we have the guy. On in DJ Moore. Like this is the year that we take a step forward. We prove that we're onto something by beating our rival at home. Woof. I mean. This was like the second worst divisional game week. Actually, third worst.
Yeah,
there were a couple bad ones. Really bad ones.
And this one is like I feel like it's bigger than the score, and I know they almost lost by 20, so the score is pretty big. But it's just such like a deflating defeat.
It's so Packers fans. It's like the whole like Bears fans are probably so excited about this season, and now half of them are just out.
Yeah, they'd be out like immediately. Why not? And
this is a total overreaction game. You know?
So
like
overreactions.
One game.
Overreactions. This is the tricky part with overreactions. Is that overreactions are great when the overreaction on week 1 is something you predicted before week.
That's true.
I love overreactions. Like I love this overreaction. Call it an overreaction all you want, whatever. But I was right before.
But we were also like not all in on the Packers.
Yeah, that is true.
It was more being out on the Bears.
But that's what I said this game too. I don't think the Packers are any world beaters.
Right.
Like if you look at they're going to need a lot more offensive productivity if they're going to be beating teams that aren't the Bears. They can't rely on one big Aaron Jones.
You can't. Yeah, the Bears can't be your measuring.
Yeah. So I'm the jury's still out on the Packers, but I think I'm ready to stamp the Bears are bad. I've been ready. I've been ready before they took a snap.
I still think that they're bad, but like I don't think like the season's not over. Like you weren't. I don't think I learned anything about the Bears that I didn't already think.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Would you say you learned something about the Packers or no? Because it's the measuring stick against the Bears. I would say no.
I think I learned that Jordan Love could be competent.
Yeah. I learned that he can get the job done. I learned he could beat Chicago.
Like it's an NFL team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not like he went out there and beat Maryland.
Yeah. No, you have a good point.
They're NFL guys. No.
All right. Which pick you want to start out with?
Let's go. Oh, we're going on our wins right now, so I will go.
All right.
Out west to Seattle. This was like the game that wasn't on when I was watching the 4:00 game. So
yeah, this game was barely on.
What the hell happened? Seattle.
What I didn't. What happened is.
And who is Kyron Williams?
Some guy Matt tried to trade me like 4 times, and I said no every time. And now he's gonna be like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna give him up." No, so this game, you were kind of right about Stafford. He looked good. And even without Cooper Kupp, he found his weapons in Puka Nacua, a 5th-round rookie, and Tutu Atwell. Both 119 yards.
There was some hype around Tutu last year.
Yeah, there was some hype out of Tutu last year. I was looking for some Van Jefferson I thought he was going to be out there, but nope. I guess Tutu and Puka Nakua are better options. The Rams, like, it kind of, some things we also need to remember about the NFL is we always forget about last year. And then when we come back, we always try to like make up new shit where we should have just been like, oh, the Seahawks defense isn't good. It wasn't good last year. They didn't do anything different. It's not good. And the Seahawks defense is not good.
No, it's not.
Sometimes it's just as easy as that.
They drafted Witherspoon, right? Like, they got a corner. They still have no pass rush.
No, they got no. That's the main key. Like I like their secondary sort of. Like I like who they have last year, Tariq Woolen, and then they have they have Blitz Boy. They have the kid from this year's draft. So the Quandre Diggs is good. They have some guys down there, but they have no pass rush. They didn't get a single sack. I think they have one of the worst pressure rates this week of the NFL. And I don't see it changing. But where's this pass rush coming from? Can't even like the only pass rusher I recognize on the team is Uchenna Nwosu or sorry, I'm not gonna Nwosu. That guy I only remember because he was on the Niners. That's the only reason why I remember him.
What about Jaron Reed? Like, that's the name that I.
Jaron Reed? Nah, I got nothing. And I guess the only pass rusher on the Rams is the only one that matters in the league, which is Aaron Donald. So it doesn't matter who else they have. And they just kind of put the piece together. And I wonder, like, maybe you're right about the Rams. Maybe they can surprise a couple of these teams. I think they're going to get walloped by the Niners, but
Colts, I don't see them fighting for the division or anything, but I thought they were Rams, Packers.
Later this year, maybe. They have the Cardinals twice. They have the Colts. They have your Commanders. They have the Ravens later. Who knows if who knows who's quarterback in by December 10th. And they have the Giants. Like they could win a couple games here. So maybe I think I had them as worst record. I should have looked at what their things were. Under 6.5. That was my bet. I should have looked at their schedule. Their schedule, like after stealing this win, six wins could be pretty easy for them, or 6 more wins. Gino, did he turn into a pumpkin? Is he a pumpkin? Is Gino a pumpkin?
You did this week.
He did this week. The clock was midnight this week.
The clock. It might be midnight because this Rams defense is not good.
No, and the secondary is the worst part.
Not very good.
No, the secondary is the worst part. They should be passing all over this team. DK didn't really do much.
It's literally like the opposite of the first game they had last year.
Yeah, but they came out of the gates and shocked everyone. Yeah.
They beat Russell Wilson. Now this year, it's like, oh, that's Geno Smith. That's the guy that I remember.
They got walloped.
Yeah, they did get walloped.
They got absolutely
point in the second half.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. I wonder, like, that still don't have a read on them though. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, they're terrible. I think that's an overreaction.
Yeah, like they could come out well, I don't know who they play, but if they came out and won next week, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Against the Lions?
No, because the Lions are the Lions. So like I wouldn't be surprised.
No, neither would I. And I also think that's a great game. That's a great game. That was like the barn
1 o'clock.
Yeah, that was like the barn burner last year of like wasn't it like 45?
Yeah, that was the game I bet on the lines like -3 and it was like 64-62.
Yeah.
The Lions were trying to give up touchdowns.
All right. Let's go to the last dub of the Wise Week. This was the sweater. The real sweater. Titans at New Orleans. Chris, you didn't you could pretend this game didn't even happen. You didn't even miss anything at this 1 p.m. slot.
This was a shitter.
This was a terrible game. And Tannehill, was the worst quarterback today. In the whole week. The whole week, he was the worst. He was awful.
Worse than Allen?
Yeah, he was worse than Allen. Allen at least had a touchdown. Tannehill had nothing but picks.
Did they kick 5 field goals?
Yes. Nick Folk kicked 5 field goals. That's the only thing they could get. And
never a good sign.
Oh, and I was sitting there, and when the Pats traded for Nick Folk, I should have been like, or when the Titans traded for him, I should have been like, that should have been like my number 1 kicker in fantasy.
Yeah.
Because that is just a match made in heaven. A nice guy with a big booter, and for a team who only kicks field goals and probably are not going to convert any touchdowns. It's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. Carr he looked all right. He had a bad pick, and I got excited, but he looked all right.
No one prays on anyone's downfall like you do on Derek Carr.
Nah, he's like, yeah. If I was ever in a room with him, I don't know what I'd say to him. I was ever able to meet him. I don't know if I'd be able to shake his hand. Shake his hand, look him in the eye, and go,
especially like,
take off the makeup, pretty boy.
Like, if he knew all the shit that you had said about him,
and then met him,
you just had to like meet him and be like, "Hi, Mr. Carr. Can I get your autograph?"
If it was like, I think they should do like a scared straight for podcasters, where they take everything I've said about Derek Carr, print on paper, they hand it to Derek Carr. He's in a separate room. He reads it, and then 5 minutes after he reads it, he walks in the door. And I just have to sit there and it's like a spaghetti dinner, and you have to like finish the dinner. You have to stay there the whole time. Like that would be like my nightmare. I really don't know what I would do.
I think who else would be great for that? Lamar, of course.
We've come around. Like he would have, like, if we printed out the complete transcript, there would be some good things about Lamar, especially more recently. But
that's true.
There would be a lot of shit. There would be a lot of shit.
I don't know if he'd be able to get past the first 2 or 3 years.
No, maybe not.
Embiid might be rough.
And Harden.
All
of the Sixers.
Would be bad.
All of the Sixers.
Simmons.
Yeah.
I'm so delusional. Like, I'm not even scared of those guys.
No, I wouldn't be scared.
I think they'd be soft even to my face.
Yeah. I think Derek Carr would say some shit to me.
Yeah, I think
Harden would not. Like, I would just call him fat and he'd just like walk away. Like, he would not say shit to me. Derek Carr definitely would get up in my grill.
like sass you, but like he wouldn't scare you.
No, he wouldn't scare me until he stood up out of his chair, though.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Yes, Mr. Embiid, you're the MVP." All right.
Start crying.
Yeah, Derek Carr had a good game. Taysom Hill was out there. He is a factor. I saw that number 7, that little white boy run up and down the field. I was like, oh boy, him and Carr. That's like literally a match made in hell.
That's like the we are back.
It's like the match made in hell for me.
There he is, just getting pissed off about Taysom Hill running around. It's like, God damn, football's back.
Oh yeah. Chris Olave had a great game. Chris Olave is the middle child of the 2022 draft class. Nobody talks about him. He's great.
Who else was what?
Garrett Wilson.
Devontae Smith.
No, that was Garrett Wilson, and it was last year.
Devontae Smith not a rookie last year?
No, I don't think so. I thought that was 2 years ago. Atlanta Falcons had Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave with the top 3.
Oh yeah.
Or Jameson Williams, then Chris Olave. Oh,
Jameson Williams. I keep forgetting.
Sorry, Chris Olave and then Williams.
Got it.
And then Dotson and Burks, Watson. Even like Watson and
Love Dotson.
Dotson seem to get more coverage than Olave. Olave gets no coverage.
Yeah, that's
they
weird.
They never talk about him.
He was high on fantasy boards though.
Yeah, because he's good. Makes sense.
He is good.
Your boy Michael Thomas out there catching more than just slants. He's out there catching more than just slants. And he's out there. That's really what matters, is that he's out there.
That's right.
Jamal Williams
catching will come, but he's got to be out there.
And the defense looked good. They were really fit. This was a physical game. Both teams had a good defense. I think the Titans, to be honest, are going to be fine. I think if Tannehill keeps having these games, of course they're going to be terrible. But
I don't.
if he cleans up like I think he will,
it's the dome, dude.
You called it.
Tough.
You called it.
It's tough to play in the dome.
It's funny. You had it, but I had that +3, baby. I had that +3.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all that matters.
All matters.
The Saints,
not for my Titans win season total.
That's true. The Titans were coming, or the Saints were coming close to like being in field goal range late, and I was like, oh, this would just ruin everything. Like this would just be awful. All right. Now I guess to the losses. We already talked about the Vikings.
Yeah.
The last loss to talk about would be the Colts, who had it in the bag. They were right there. And they just blew it in the fourth quarter, letting up 14 points right in the fourth. Trevor had I guess he had a pretty good game the whole time. It wasn't anything world beating, but Calvin Ridley's so back.
Yeah. I got that alert that like Ridley scored a touchdown. I was like, oh man.
And not only did he score, first of all, the Zay Jones touchdown that Trevor threw was one of the prettiest balls I've ever seen. But Calvin Ridley just out there, he looks better than every other receiver out there. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because he's in zero or if he's just faster, but like every time he touches the ball, he's just looks so much better than, especially when he's lined up with like Zay Jones and Christian Kirk. Like he's just so much better than those two guys. And
yeah, he's in a different tier.
Yeah, he really is. And this is exactly what I expected from the Jags. Even Trayvon Walker, who I had in breakouts. Got to keep notes of that. I didn't know.
No, he was my breakout.
Was he yours? Or did you have? Or did I have him? All right, I thought I might have.
I used mine.
All right, I was going to take him from you because I like him too. He had a sack and went 3 for 3 on his tackles. The Jags team, this is what I expected. I didn't expect them to be down late in the third, but they came back and they raided the ship, and then they held the Colts to no more points. So the Colts looked fun. Their running attack was terrible. Your boy Jake Funk got 2 carries.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No, not a good sign whatsoever. Deion Jackson.
Yeah, it's almost like when you take Jonathan Taylor out of the situation, their running attack sucks.
Oh, it's terrible. It's way bad. Deion Jackson, fun little fantasy pickup for people who had Jonathan Taylor. You want to? Did you already look, or do you want to guess the stat line? Oh, you're looking.
14.
There's something better though. There's a little asterisk that they don't have in there yet. He lost 2 fumbles. So he had 13 carries for 14 yards and 2 fumbles. That might be the worst running back performance of all time. How does it get? It doesn't get much worse than that.
Does not.
And Michael Pittman had a fine game. No one else on their team on the offensive side was interesting besides Anthony Richardson. But he looked cool. He looked amazing. As my dynasty quarterback, I was just sitting there like, ooh. I'm excited. He did get popped.
I've gotten for my offensive rookie of the year too. So
there you go. He did get popped, but if I'm looking at the news correctly, it seems like he should be good for.
Yeah, did Minshew come in for a little bit? Because
he had to finish the game. So Anthony Richardson got injured probably late in the third. But doesn't seem to be any concern about severity. All right, so they just kind of basically it was only the final 3 snaps. So after he got injured, they just let in Gardner because they didn't want him to get injured.
Gotcha.
Smart. That's actually smart. All right.
Colts, they do things the right way.
Yeah, besides paying running backs and covering week 1. So before we move on to the rest of the games, the strategy worked this week, Chris. The smelliest games that you looked at
this week
and I think out of the picks, the underdogs went 11-6 spreads.
Week 1. Dogs bark.
The dogs bark.
I'm already excited for next week.
So we're keeping the strategy. You're going fishing. You're getting the line out.
Oh yeah, I already love the Bears.
Oh god, damn it! This is ridiculous.
Bears are +3 against the Buccaneers.
That's a stay away. Get me a hell away from that.
Just stay away.
Yeah, get me a hell away from that. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. There's no way. What's
looking at the rest of the games right now, see if anything jumps out.
All right, well, don't spoil it. We got a whole other podcast to do that for.
I don't want to say anything. But I do love the Bears.
So.
Ooh, Colts Texans. Woof. Sure.
Colts Texans. That's a nasty game.
Giants Cardinals. Ugh.
Yeah, there's some stinkers. Week 2 does not come with
That's like already.
Yeah, it's back.
It's bad.
Bucks, Bears, Colts, Texans.
Yeah.
Giants. I mean, even Broncos, Commanders. No offense. Saints, Panthers is Monday night.
That's horrible.
Yeah, these are bad.
And Browns Steelers.
Browns Steelers stinks too.
Neither of those totals are over 40.
That's insanity. Best game of the week is Jags Chiefs. All right. Anyways, we can preview all that later. Going through the rest of the games, we need to finish out this week. So Bengals Browns.
Starts the MVP run.
Not looking good at all. So you were out enjoying Commanders football. It was raining, and apparently check the weather report. If it's raining, do not let Joe Burrow throw the football.
He's gonna melt.
He looked terrible, like awful. He was missing guys left and right. Freaking T. Higgins didn't get a catch.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had 8
I also
targets,
bet Jamar Chase to score the first touchdown, and then I kept checking this. So I was following this game, and there's just no touchdowns being scored.
Nope. This game stunk.
And for one of the teams, it lasted the whole game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you could blame it. Maybe it must have been like a monsoon out there because Watson looked terrible. Chubb was great, but then the real takeaway from this game is the Browns defense. The Browns defense is for real. Did you see the video of Myles Garrett doing basketball layup line between the legs before pass rushing and then sacking Joe Burrow?
No.
He's standing in front of the center, basically lined up as a nose guard, doing like a fake dribble between the legs, and then once the snap comes, breezes past the center and sacks Joe Burrow. The Bengals, all these years, I mean, ever since they've gotten Burrow, it's been
the same problems over and over again.
How do we protect Burrow? And we thought this was going to be the year that they finally pieced it together, and they couldn't do it at all. And I think they just cut Jahlil Collins, the former Cowboy, that they signed for a massive deal. Lahiel Collins, sorry. And they signed to a massive deal just last year, and I think they just cut him today. Yeah, release veteran offensive tackle. So
that's a tough look.
Yeah, it's bad. It's looking real bad.
They'll be fine though. Right? This is not.
Yeah, they did the same thing last year. They started 0-2. We got to remember that. They started 0-2 last year.
They'll be all right.
They'll be fine. I agree.
But
they do need to figure out how to protect him. No, Burrow is not good against the Browns. Not at all. Maybe because their pass rush is good every year, and the Bengals' offensive line is terrible.
It's also not good against the Steelers.
Who has a good pass rush?
I wonder why.
I wonder why he's great against the Ravens, because they have no pass rush. God, it almost makes sense. All right, we're moving on. Another stinker from both sides, honestly. Ravens, Texans. We were waiting. Yeah. We were expecting a Ravens 50 bomb like they always do. Lamar, the one year I freaking drafted him in fantasy, he stinks the bed. He stunk. The biggest news of this is poor J.K. Dobbins. Talk about career over. This is for him. And of course we're not rooting for it, but this is this guy's third season-ending injury in 3 years.
Yeah, that does suck.
That's just that's awful. So now they're riding with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins and Justice Hill. Oh, sorry, not J.K. Dobbins. I just read it. Yeah, I was just reading it. Justice Hill and Gus Edwards.
Of course, Gus Edwards will. They have for a position where there's so much turnover, they've had the same freaking backup running backs for
and the same
6
starter.
years, it feels like.
Yeah,
and what?
And the same starter. JK's been waiting to start for the past 3 years, and his backups have been Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. And of course, our boy Melvin Gordon is on the practice squad.
Oh, there we go.
But if it was the true Ravens, they would just sign Latavius Murray like they do every other time. Odell didn't look great. He had a good catch. But Zay Flowers was really the highlight of this game for the Ravens. He looked great. 9 catches, 78 yards. No tutty. I mean, Lamar didn't throw any touchdowns. He didn't run for any either. He really had a bad game. A pick, a fumble.
Was it raining there too? It had to have been for a little bit.
I think for a little bit.
I mean,
Actually, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Was it raining? It wasn't raining in Washington.
For the whole third quarter, it was.
Oh. Well, and I don't know. I don't want to talk about the Texans. I have no interest. They went out there. I didn't see them do anything. They were there. They played football on Sunday.
Game.
They played football on Sunday. Vikings, Bucks, we talked about. Panthers, Falcons. Oof, the Panthers might stink.
Yeah, that's not a good day for the Blueprint. And this was a perfect opener for these two teams because it was like the two teams in a bad division that are both young, like looking to take a step forward. So it was a good a litmus test. Woof. Yeah, Carolina.
I'm gonna read some nasty stats for you. 20 for 38, 114 yards. Or 146 yards. And then the other quarterback, 15 for 18, 150 yards. They're both bad. They're nasty. Those are nasty. Those are some nasty lines. And I
guess
one
of them is a captain.
One of them's a captain, one of them's not. You guys guess in the comments below.
Is he a captain? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Bryce Young's a captain. Not Ritter, though.
He's not allowed to throw more than 18 passes, so he's not a captain.
No, you earn the 20 mark once you get to C. I think this is really on the offensive line for the Panthers. They really couldn't get a lot developed. Their weapons are pretty trash. Like, they're relying on...
I don't know why I, convinced myself that they had good pieces.
Because...
Sanders has never lived up to his potential. And then
no, because they're all solid. They're
Chenault,
just, they're not good.
Marshall,
they're just, there. Yeah, none of these guys have proven anything.
Maybe one of them could work out.
Thielen's like a safety net. He might as well be a tight end at this point. And I guess Hayden Hurst had a good game, so I guess he did well. But yeah, this team, I really need to see. I need to see something else. And I guess they're playing the Saints. I want to see them not in the division before I judge them. Because division games always get weird.
That's fair.
All right.
I guess, did we learn anything about Ritter this week?
No. We did learn one thing about the Falcons, though, is that they are committed to Tyler Algier.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. They are committed to Tyler Algier. Respect, honestly. He's a good player. Why not use him? And he did it. He had a great game, too. That's really what I learned.
But why draft B?
Yeah, why? I don't know. And why draft Drake London at 8 if he's not going to get a catch? Or target. If he's not going to get target, why draft him at 8?
They got to throw the ball.
That's true. They actually have to throw the ball. Kyle Pitts actually got 2 catches.
Bijan had half the catches.
Yeah, he did.
Why you say actually got 2 catches as if it's a lot of catches?
Because normally he has 0.
I guess compared to last year, it might be.
Jesse Bates had 2 of those interceptions. Or had 2 interceptions. Great offseason signing. We were talking about that in this offseason. Their defense looks pretty solid. And maybe the Panthers stink. So another one where I want to see them outside of the division.
Yeah, against not each other.
Yeah. Should we wait for our teams? Yeah, we'll wait. Niners, Steelers. Niners, Steelers.
This is another bad for the brand game. With the talk that we've been talking about the Steelers.
Yeah.
I went on a whole rant about I don't know if Brock Purdy's good and this might be the year that Shanahan fizzles out.
And I think he's fine.
Yeah. Good.
Brandon Ayuk is just Jerry Rice.
This was honestly, I'm not too concerned about the Steelers. I don't think they're gonna be this bad the rest of the way. It was like it seemed to me like it was a bad start that snowballed into just a horrific game. And I think they faced a really good defense. What stinks for the Steelers is that they're missing now. They're going to be missing Cam Hayward. He's injured. He's out for I think a month. But so that's a big part of their defense that they need. But I think they're going to be fine. Like I think they were going to. I didn't think they were going to win this game anyways. And they are facing a good defense against the Browns. But man, they have the next two games. We have to see the Steelers in primetime the next 2 weeks.
Who's the other one against?
You want to guess? You want to guess? No.
I think they do play them at some point.
It's not a great great matchup.
The Jets?
Oh, it's the Raiders.
The Raiders in primetime at all.
Jimmy G versus Kenny Pickett, primetime. Week 3. Sunday night football too. Ugh. That's a I'm going to bed to do my homework. That's over. All right.
I do think you're right though. Like the Steelers are gonna have to win games by like controlling the game early.
Yeah.
Like when Pickett's throwing 46 times a game, they're never gonna win games like that.
Right? Ben's like scoffing over there. He's like, you're missing 14 attempts there, pal.
46, like 66. Like average yards per throw 6.
Oh, those are the best stat lines. Absolutely the best. Najee
Big Ben throws 70 passes for 160 yards.
Najee had a decent game. I mean, they didn't run it at all in the second half because they couldn't. Yeah. So he had a decent game for what they had. Allen Robinson leading the receptions or yards.
It's so funny.
That is funny. And Calvin Austin leading in receptions is weird. I don't know who Calvin Austin is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, dude, 46 times for 232 yards is not a lot at all. Because when you look at these receivers, like Jalen Warren got 5 catches for 12 yards. That is horrific. That is bad. George Pickens 5 catches for 36 yards. That's not good either.
What about 6 for 37? It's like they're all bad.
Yeah, they're all terrible. But I don't think I'm kind of brushing this one just for the Niners. Like I'm calling it Niners. I think I learned more about the Niners is that they're going to be okay.
Yep.
That they're going to be just okay.
Fine.
All right. Next up, why does it send me back to the preseason? Okay. There it is. Next up, we have Raiders Broncos. This game was on Red Zone for way too long, and then it was disappeared for like the rest of the game. Besides, I don't even know if I saw that last. No, I didn't see that second Jacoby Myers touchdown. Unless it looked identical to the other one, because I had 3 TVs up. So looking around, sometimes I couldn't tell if it was like a replay from like, when they do the commercials and like, oh, here's like a little replay or whatever. Sometimes I couldn't tell when that was going on in the game because Red Zone was also right next to it and I was just getting confused. So maybe I saw the Jacoby Myers touchdown. Maybe it was the same one that I saw, like, because I saw that first one like 5 times. So maybe they were the same. Yeah, I mean, this was just kind of a classic Broncos game.
It was like the same team from last year.
Yeah.
Jimmy G also, like, dude wins. What else do you say? Like, they didn't look good.
No, they didn't look great, but he wins. And
20 for 26.
That's what I was going to say. 20 for 26. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. You got that 1 pick, but that's all right. As long as look, any Jimmy G game you give me with 1 interception, there's like a 75% chance they win that game.
As long as it's not a total meltdown.
Yeah, as long as it's not 3, then they're at like 25. Yeah. So you give me 1 interception for Jimmy Garoppolo, then it's looking pretty. He just knows how to get it done.
Yeah, he does. The Broncos did not.
No. So, did you see the opening of this game where they started off with the onside kick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sean Payne. Like, I love that. That's kind of like an announcement, like, "Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
but,
Remember
like,
me? Remember when I did
dude.
this in the Super Bowl, guys? Remember? I'm back." And then after that, after they didn't get that, I was like, "Oh, they're losing." Like, it's the air is sucked out of the stadium now. It's over.
Not a great start.
No, not a great start at all. I didn't really learn much either. I learned that Devontae Williams is healthy and that Samaje Perine's good. I also learned that I'm probably going to stick to Cortland Sutton. Little Jordan Humphreys got a touchdown. That was weird. And that's about it.
Great
I didn't
name.
really learn anything else from. I mean, I guess I learned that Jimmy G doesn't matter what uniform, he's always a winner.
Yeah. Well, and the Broncos, like, until they show us anything differently, they're the same team last year.
Yeah, I don't expect more than 18 points out of this team.
No.
For the foreseeable future.
See how many weeks it takes them to break 20. Probably next week, but.
All right, besides the Sunday night game and our 2 games, we'll do our 2 games after everything. But this was the game of the week. Dolphins at the Chargers. Wow.
2-0, baby.
Wow. 466
Did you
yards,
also see
3 touchdowns for Tua.
Tyreek Hill after the game? He was like, yeah, like last year I felt pretty good, but like this year I'm like, I feel better about my routes. He said last year he was just beating everyone with speed, whereas this year he's like a better route runner.
I actually saw.
Like, that's what the league needs.
I actually noticed that in game. He is running. They put Tyreek Hill, and it's such a cheat code. Instead of making them guard Tyreek Hill vertically, they make him guard him horizontally across the field. So when he's running across the field, they're like, because I guess someone can keep up straight line. Someone can attempt to keep up, or you could use safety help to guard Tyreek Hill on just a straight down.
But as soon as he makes a turn,
it's over. It's absolutely over. And they're having him do these routes where he's like going up and around, and he's like doing like he's literally going back and forth down the field. And eventually he's going to be open. If you protect Tua, eventually Tyreek Hill would be open. And my God, Tua was throwing some beauties. He was throwing some absolute dimes. And they play the Pats next week. And we'll talk about the Pats soon, but the way Belichick is going to have to scheme up against Tua and Tyreek Hill is going to determine. I mean, that's every game for this Dolphins team.
Yeah.
Whoever determines, like, if they can figure out how to stop him, then they might lose. But if not, then it's over. There's going to be games like it's going to be like, and I think I said the same thing this offseason. This is a Madden built team. It's built on pass rush, secondary, and speed on the offense. And that's going to win a lot of football games.
Tyreek Hill might be the most game-changing receiver. Like, maybe not the best pure receiver, but he might be the guy who's going to make the most difference.
I think you're right. And I think he is honestly underrated.
He might be.
Like,
like there's an argument there that he's the best in the league. And I know Jefferson and Chase, but like I might take Tyreek Hill over anybody.
I think I might too.
Because it's like every time he touches the ball, it could be a touchdown.
I know, and he's always open. He could touch the ball on any play. The play could be completely destroyed, and Tua is running out of the pocket, and it could still be a touchdown to Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very easily on any given play. Yeah, it's a cheat code, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. And now with the Bills being down, like they're 0-1 now in the division, they can take this win if they can take a win against the Pats. Of course, I'm not hoping for it, but they're going to be looking pretty to win the AFC East.
Oh yeah,
it could be a 1 seed in the AFC. They're the best AFC team right now.
That reaction just started getting like
they just kept growing.
Snowballing. It was first like I like their chance in the AFC, and then it was like they can get a win next week. Like they're the best team right now. Easy. They're probably gonna be the 1 seed. It's like all right, easy.
Okay,
because I'm concerned about their defense.
I'm not. I think the Chargers
No?
just have a good offense. I think the Chargers have Herbert.
The Chargers never run the ball. They were able to a lot.
But maybe we learned something new about the Chargers. Maybe this year they can run the ball.
They actually will decide, because it's not like they can't run the ball. It's that they just have never chosen to.
I was gonna say this is like the fact that Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly have the same amount, and maybe it's Kellen Moore. I mean, he had this with Zeke and Tony Pollard, so maybe he saw that blueprint and thought, hey, these guys could both work great in those roles. It's funny.
They're just always going to be the Chargers, though.
Yeah, no, they'll Charger it out.
Like,
and they did this game.
Of course they lose this game.
They ended the game in the most Chargers way possible with 3 sacks in a row. It doesn't get more Chargers than that. It really doesn't. No. No. I was gonna say the only thing that would make it more Charger if they got sacked twice out of field goal range, attempted the field goal anyways, and missed it. That would have been more Chargers. And that would have been the only thing that would have been more Chargers.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome. It's a guy who just roots for like the most Charger games possible. That would have been incredible.
Okay, am I crazy? The Dolphins are the best team in the NFL. Am I crazy? After week 1.
Better than the 49ers?
After week 1. Yeah, I think they look better than the Niners. Actually, no, that would be tough. That would be tough. That's a tough game. I don't know who I'd pick there, actually. I don't know. I feel like
if we're doing pure like week 1.
Yeah, pure week 1.
I'm putting the Niners 1.
Okay.
Maybe, Dallas maybe. I don't know though.
Come on.
Like I've been so down on the Giants.
Giants are so Duke. They are.
I'm trying. All right, yeah. Before we start doing power rankings.
Oh yeah, let's end this game. This game will take 2 seconds. This was
the best.
It'll take 2 seconds to cover. The Giants suck ass.
As much as I hate the Cowboys,
they are awful.
Was so funny. And it was just like no time either. It was just like boom, first quarter, block kick. Pick 6.
Yeah, Cowboys were up 14-0, and their offense played like 2 snaps.
Dak Prescott threw for like 150 yards and he scored 40 points.
It's like you couldn't even gauge how good they were because the Giants.
I learned nothing from the Cowboys. I learned absolutely nothing.
Oh man, it's rare that the Cowboys win a game like this, and I'm like, not even happy, but like okay with it. But this was just so good. Because I was like, I knew the Cowboys were probably going to be good this year, and the Giants, I was like, really sticking to it. Like this team, they're gonna melt down this year. Like this is Ben McAdoo part 2, and what a way to kick things off.
One thing we missed when talking about the Giants, I don't know how we missed this, but they still don't have any goddamn receivers.
No, they don't have one.
They don't have one. Their best receiver is a tight end.
We talked about that last week.
I know we talked about Waller and how we like how he's the number 1 for fantasy, but I don't remember if we talked about that should have been brought up. What was my Giants take? Let me look. Glad I have this all written down in my nice handy dandy notebook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had Darren Waller over 4.5 touchdowns. I don't know if he's gonna get 1 because Daniel Jones can't throw the ball.
Daniel Jones just signed the contract.
If you're a Giants fan, like, I don't think you don't want to wake up in the morning after this game.
No, you don't. You just better hope that you root for a good college team.
Yeah, and also
maybe get into NASCAR.
And if you're a Giants fan, everyone knows you're a Giants fan.
Yeah, because you're the most obnoxious piece of shit in the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. So, you better hope you don't have work on Mondays. Or you could call in sick 18 weeks out of the year.
Maybe you work remote.
Yeah, work remote Mondays, because that might be your best bet. Because I'm sure Monday morning was brutal for every Giants fan.
And you had to stay up late too. Like you have to get up at 6 in the morning for work.
After the the 2 plays back to back of touchdowns by the Cowboys not even having to step foot on the field, I would have turned off the game. I wouldn't have watched a single second of the game after that. How do you even watch that? And I guess honestly, that's
well.
how
There was a game that the Redskins played against them a couple years ago on Sunday night, and it was very similar to this.
I remember we covered it.
Beat them like 56-14.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was in bed by halfway through the second quarter. I was in bed. I was like watching Seinfeld or something. I was like, oh, I wonder what the score is, and it was so much worse than it was when I left. I was like, how is that even possible? But yeah, what an abomination.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like, this was the worst football game of the week, and it wasn't even close.
It was unwatchable.
National TV.
I was only watching to see.
Like, I was very excited for this. I was like, oh, like, first Sunday Night Football of the year, and, it's already Giants-Cowboys, so I'm like, well, it could have been better, but it's still Sunday Night Football. This was another one where it was like, it was over before I even got to sit down and watch.
No, it was done. I only wanted to watch because I had Daniel Jones throwing an or I had what's his name, Diggs to get an interception. And I was like, just throw it to Diggs. Like you already give out 2. Like give one more. Like, come on. All right. This is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do me for the Pats, and then we're gonna end off all Commanders. End off with a dub. You know.
With me.
Yeah. End off with a dub. So.
I'd off into this.
Eagles Pats. Very similar, actually, to Giants, with the start at least, to Giants Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots, they have, they punt. The Eagles, if I'm remembering this correctly, they punt. The Eagles go down the field, they score, and then Mac Jones throws it to. They miss the extra point, and then Mac Jones throws it to Kendrick Bourne or someone else. I think it was Kendrick. I think it might have been Juju, actually. Then it bounces off his hands. Just like last year I saw a million times. They run it all the way back, pick 6. I don't blame Mac at all for that. But now we're down 13 nothing. Eagles get the ball back again. Drive all the way down the field.
No, it was the Eagles' first drive was a field goal.
That's okay. And then now here's where they score the touchdown. So it was 10-0.
Right.
Or 9-0. They score the touchdown. I'm not feeling good. I can't really feel like. Here's the thing, though. I can't really feel like anything, though. Like I didn't think we were going to stop them immediately, and I saw nothing from the offense because I saw one play that got tipped into a pick 6, and I don't blame the offense for that. I just think bad plays happen. So I didn't know what I was thinking, but then it
blacked out for a corner.
Yeah, pretty much. But then comes second quarter, it's all Pats. It's the offense looks competent. They're running plays, Chris. They're running plays like that I can see and I can visualize and I can see where they're going to run because it's a play that makes sense on a football field. And
very low bar.
Very, very low bar. They still had some weird Pats moments where they threw some weird screen passes. They ran it on third down for no reason. Seems like every NFL team does that now, though. I was watching the Eagles do it, where they throw a screen pass on third and long, or run it on third and long, and it's like,
hey, that shit drives me nuts.
That drives me nuts too. And clearly, it's like a higher percentage that cover it, but it drives me nuts. But what I learned from the Pats in this, of course, I hate saying it, I hate the term, but it's a moral victory yet again. Exactly what I feared was going to happen before this game started. But they actually looked better than I thought they were going to look in a loss.
Mac looked good.
He looked great.
Especially if you wipe that interception off, because it wasn't really on him.
Yeah, he looked great.
3 touchdowns, 300 yards.
And when the game needed him. That's what I was going to say. When the game needed it the most, he was there. Even in the last play of the game, is a 4th and 11, and Keyshawn Boutte
screen on 3rd and 13.
Yeah, that drove me nuts. And I was like, if you just throw
the
pass,
nuts. I didn't even care.
if you just threw the pass that you were gonna throw on third down, then you have 2 chances.
There's a lot of weird stuff at the end of that game.
Oh, from both teams that we can talk about in a second. But the last play of the game, Keyshawn Boutte catches it on the sidelines. It's a beautiful ball from Mac Jones, and Boutte just doesn't get his foot in bounds. He's a rookie.
By an inch, though.
By like an inch. Doesn't get it in bounds. And that's the game. But even then, the throw was perfect. The Mac was there. Mac was throwing dimes all game. Kendrick Bourne looked incredible. It was really hard to contain my excitement when it was going. When that fumble, I was in chapter for my fraternity, and when that fumble happened in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and they for some reason ran the ball with Jalen Hurts up 5 points with 2 minutes left on first down, but the ball pops out like so perfectly, like a cartoon. It pops out, and I almost lost my mind. Like I had to bite my tongue because I was in chapter and like the president was talking about some crap I wasn't listening to. But I was enamored. Also on the Pats offense, Zeke had that fumble. It was raining. It just kind of like slipped right out of his hands. That another drive out the window. So like this Pats team easily could have put on, take away those two and they could have had 2 field goals there. They didn't take a field goal late in the game on fourth down. They went for it. I love Belichick's quote. Did you hear it after the game? After the game, someone asked him, should you have taken a field goal there? And he said, that was the game plan, was to go for it. If you asked me, if we kicked the field goal, we'd be standing here right now and you'd be saying, why didn't you go for it?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my coach right there. That's my coach. You put him in his place. That was the game plan. If he did it the other way, and he's totally right. If he kicks that field goal, everyone's like, oh, he kicked a field goal for a 1-possession game to be a 1-possession game. And then say the Pats never get the ball back, we look like Gavones. So this is like, that was a great quote that I absolutely loved. On the Eagles side.
Yeah, maybe the Eagles don't go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we don't get the ball back. On the Eagles side, I mean, when they could get the ball to the receivers, it looked great. But
there were drives where AJ Brown was wide open every play.
Yeah, and they didn't.
It was like, what is going on?
I'm not gonna. I think the Pats defense is great. They were all over Jalen Hurts all game. Like,
Hurts
real good pass rush. No, and I think that this was. I'm chalking this up to a good. It was raining. Good defense that they played against. I think this Eagles offense is going to be just fine. They got the win anyways. Kenneth Gainwell is going to be the fantasy guy that everyone spends their money on, and he gets 1 carry next week.
Yeah.
Because DeAndre Swift only gets 1 carry, and Penny with a healthy scratch. At some point, those guys are going to play.
Yeah, you kind of knew that going in, though, that like this was not going to be a backfield that you could rely on, at least from a fantasy perspective.
Definitely not. But a backfield you can rely on for NFL-wise, all those guys are good.
Mm-hmm.
You can like I didn't want them to give the ball to Kenneth Gainwell. That's how I was. That's how much I was nervous about him. Goddard did nothing though. Pats really made sure Goddard was held in check. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we could talk about the Tom Brady stuff, but if you watched football this week, you saw it all. Trust me. If you watch, they replayed it a million times, and it was cool. Like, it was cool to see Tom there. He did the run around. He did the fist bump at halftime, and whatever. It was cool. It wasn't anything, That was cool. That's all I got. Would have been cooler with a dub. Yeah, it would have been cooler with a dub, but yeah, it was cool.
The only issue about your moral victory is if you don't win next week, then it doesn't matter.
No, and that's what
two moral victories.
This is the worst part about the Pats schedule.
I know.
And I talked about it. That
Run right into it.
We're in the gutters. We face the Eagles. We face the best team in the NFL and the Dolphins Sunday night next week. Then we face Zach Wilson, so that's good.
Yeah.
But then we have the Cowboys, who just dropped a 40-piece. I'm not scared of the Saints. I'm not scared of the Raiders. They lost to the Raiders last year, though. Then you had the Bills. Then you had the best team in the NFL.
What happened in that game? I don't remember.
Oh, the Raiders game? Oh, yeah. There was Jacoby Myers had. They diagnosed him with CTT after the game, even though he's not dead. They figured out how to diagnose it without the guy dying. He just
Did
has to throw
Antonio
the
Brown
football.
diagnose it?
Oh,
He diagnosed it himself.
Yeah, he's diagnosed too. But this Pats schedule is brutal. We get some luck later in the season with Colts, Giants, Commanders. 3 weeks in a row. Hey, I'm just saying.
Wait, what?
Winnable games.
No, that was a
slip.
That was a slip. You said 3 bad.
No, I said three.
No,
three
you said
winnable
3 bad,
games
and
in
then
a
you
row.
said 3
winnable games in a row.
That was a slip.
All right, that was a slip. Hey, you guys are 1-0. I'm the 0-1 talking. So
yeah, that's right.
speaking of which, let's just go right into it. I think I covered the Pats. I just want to reiterate one more time that their defense is good. Even Miles Bryant had some good plays.
Miles Bryant.
I bring him up every time I talk about the Pats because he's so terrible. Worst Pat on the field. All right, let's talk Commanders, Arizona. Chris was back at FedEx. How was the atmosphere? What did you learn from the Commanders? What do you got for me?
Well, atmosphere-wise, it was... I remember after the game that I went to last year against the Giants, I said that I wouldn't go back for another 4 years because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And obviously with everything...
It lifted the curse.
Right, with everything that happened this offseason, like, of course, I was going to go back on that. So, I'm not apologizing for going back on my word there. It was awesome. Like, it really was. From the second that we got there, like, we got there 2.5 hours before kickoff, I think, and the lots were already packed. A lot of Redskin tents and gear, of course. But it's like the old crowd coming back, I think. I think that's what a lot of that is. But just good vibes up until the game start. Like, the pregame stuff was awesome. The stadium was full before the game started. When it's never like that. It's usually like a little bit of a late arriving crowd. But there was a buzz in the building.
Oh, yeah.
So it was very cool. I got this hat for free for placing a bet at the sportsbook.
Nice.
The bet lost, so it wasn't really a free hat. But I should have just bet one of my wise picks.
Honestly.
But yeah, so they come out and like it's a slow start to the game. Then they go down and score a touchdown off of like 3 Cardinals penalties. They tried to kill. Did you see the clip of Al getting hit?
Yeah. And then the fight broke out.
Right. There was a fight on the sideline. And how, like, credit to him, he just got up, walked off.
Professional.
Like, calm, posed. And then he goes out, and they call an injury timeout. It's the longest injury timeout of all time. And then Set walks onto the field, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's no way.
You're like, not already.
He's just done. Like, this is what the Jets fans felt.
Yeah.
I felt it for like a minute, and I'm sure it's much worse for them because it's Aaron Rodgers, not Sam Howell. But then he comes running back onto the field, and the place just goes nuts. So that was a cool moment. And they go down and score a touchdown. It's like, this is amazing. Like, we're going to win this game 28-0. This can be a big party in the stands. And everything fell apart for like an hour and a half. Because the Cardinals go down, kick a field goal, and then
they just keep scoring.
Well, we drove down again, and then Gibson fumbles at like the 15.
Classic.
And then they go down, kick another field goal, and then the next possession, on 3rd and long, Howell is like running around trying to find an open guy, and the ball just falls out of his hand, and they pick it up for a touchdown. I was like, oh gosh, like this is actually my nightmare.
Did you have Wentz flashbacks?
Like, not Wentz particularly, but just like
every quarterback.
Years and years of like horrible football. And I'm not even saying that like this year is going to be that much different, but like the feeling in the stadium was so much different. And then for it just to revert back to that was like, this is actually depressing. Like, this was such a waste of my time and money. And then it starts pouring in the 3rd quarter. And the vibes were low. And then eventually, like, the Cardinals start playing like the Cardinals again. They strip sack Josh Dobbs and go score another touchdown. And then it was like, all right, we can breathe again. We're back in front. And the defense was unstoppable. Like, the Cardinals could not. They didn't score an offensive touchdown the whole game. So
that's no shot.
I was actually confident because it was literally like watching them play against a college team on defense, at least. Like, offense did not look good, but defensively they shut them down completely. So it was fun because every time the Cardinals would get the ball back, it was like they're only one score away, but
they're never going to score.
No, right? They could even get. I don't think they got past the 50-yard line in the fourth quarter. But every possession, it was so loud in there because it was like the biggest possession of the game for like 3 straight drives.
That makes it fun.
So yeah, it was awesome.
Well, I'm glad it was fun. When I'm looking at it, a fun stat: Cardinals running back Keontae Ingram had 5 carries for -4 yards. That's pretty bad.
They're exactly who we thought they were. Like, they suck.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're really bad.
There's not much to say. They're bad.
Yeah, they're horrible.
I'm living with a Cardinals fan.
It's gotta be tough.
Yeah.
Like, what do you even do?
No, he was rooting for them to lose actively.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he wants tank.
It's Caleb Williams, yeah. Josh Jobs went to his high school, so he's like, nah, I'm good. Like, if he went to my high school, then like there's no way that there's anything. All right.
Yeah, Dobbs was always the guy who I was like, he just needs another shot, but
he's had his shot now. He didn't have it for a while. He never got the shot.
Right.
He got the shot now.
He did. Well, those guys, they never should actually get their shot because then you stop saying like Cole.
Yeah. That's like I bet Hendon Hooker's like that too. Another Tennessee guy, but I bet he's like
yeah.
Too. In like next 2 years, he'll be like, oh, give him a shot.
Yeah. But walking out of there, you would have thought that they beat the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl or something. Like, it was the craziest I've ever seen at stadium since.
That's what I want to hear. That's really what I want to hear.
And of course, the playoff game they didn't win. So it was wild going. There was almost a fight over these pennants that they were giving out.
Oh God!
I don't know why they did it after the game, but they gave out these home opener pennants, which are actually pretty cool.
Those are cool.
But they were just handing them out. There were like 3 people with big boxes, and so it was a madhouse. And there was a guy who like almost fought the security guard for one of these pennants.
Jesus.
And I was like right in the middle of it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get out of here.
A lot with an arm.
Like, I might be the guy with the phone. Yeah, it was a madhouse getting out. Like, the honking the horns. It was something that I haven't felt there in probably ever. Honestly.
Well, that's good. That's good. It means there's some life back in there. Give me on the field stuff. Give me 2 positives and a negative.
A little like criticism sandwich.
Yeah. You can put it in any order.
Manuel Forbes.
Positive.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, big positive.
Christian
I think
Gonzalez
we should do like a weekly. Gonzalez, what?
He looked great.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had a sack and a 4th down pass play. That guy.
I saw him get burned by Brown a couple of times, but
what are you gonna do?
We should do like a weekly assessment. Who's
rookie of the year, wise rookie of the.
Yeah, the wise rookie of the year.
We'll find
Forbes
like
had the game-winning pass breakup.
So did the or it would have been if it was game-winning.
He didn't win.
No, yeah. But it would have been the same thing. So it seems like they had similar games.
Got it. All right, we can call it a tie for now. Maybe PFF grade.
Call it a push.
Call it a push.
Yeah, we'll call it a push.
We both feel good about it. It's more of like how we feel.
Yeah. Until we start feeling bad about it,
test.
yeah, then it's got to be No, I feel good about Gonzalez.
So yeah, I feel good about how he looked. The O-line is a serious problem. Got sacked 6 times against the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah,
and obviously, like, not all 6 are on the offensive line. Because he's very slow to get the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like he's a guy where, like, if his first read isn't there, then holding on the ball and he's scrambling. And he's good at, like,
he likes to move his
making
legs.
A play.
Yeah.
He does, but yeah, that leads to a lot of sacks because as soon as the first read isn't there, then it's like the whole play's shot. So couple that with a bad offensive line and you're just asking to get murdered, especially when you have to go up against like the Eagles front and the Cowboys front. It'll be tough, but hopefully there's room for improvement there. And then third positive, or a second positive, I guess. I like how in the second half, at least, they went back to running the football. Because in the first half, it was like pass. Robinson had like 3 carries. It's like your best shot to move the ball is establishing him on the ground.
And
in the second half, they did that.
What I like about that call as well is it doesn't seem like, at least, especially after the Gibson fumble, that it's a two-headed. Like, it seems like Robinson's the guy to get the carry.
It's for, like, when they just need somebody to get 4 yards, it's always him.
Yeah.
When they need somebody to bring in for the passing game, it'll still be Gibson. But yeah, hopefully that's a trend going forward, is that they're actually going to feed him the ball.
Yeah, I think so too. No Terry. Oh no, Terry did play.
He played.
Yeah, he played. Quiet game for Terry.
Dotson pretty quiet too. He had like catches.
Yeah.
Samuel, I think, led the team in catches.
Yeah, and yards. 5 and 50.
Logan Thomas had a few bad drops.
He had a decent game. He almost had a touchdown. I think he dropped. Right? Am I wrong? Could have sworn I saw him do something big, but he doesn't seem like it.
He had a big drop on their first drive, but
Right. Well, that doesn't matter too much. All right.
I don't know how to feel about Sam.
Oh, okay.
He looked okay. I'll say that, which is fine for now.
The rust is off, you know?
Yep,
the rust is off.
It's his second start.
Yeah. Let him play a real game now. You know? Let him get the offensive flowing. Yeah. He's got a week under his belt. Going up to Denver. Should be able to air it out in Denver.
I'd be shocked if they win the Broncos.
You think they're gonna? You said you'd be shocked if they win.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't think they're very good.
So if you're saying that you're shocked with that, then you have the Bills and Eagles coming up.
Yeah.
Then you have a nice little stretch of Bears, Falcons, Giants. Little 4-3 action going into the Eagles next game. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I'll take that.
Absolutely love it. All right. I think that does it. We've pretty much hammered out everything.
Yeah, that's all the games and then some.
Yeah, we got a doozy of a pod this week. Thank you all for listening. If you noticed, we're on a Tuesday, so that means we're back to 2 a week. We'll be back sometime Friday. I am leaving for Athens on Friday, so we might have to do Thursday night. But
that's better for me too, because we have a football game.
All right. Well then, most likely Thursday night. See everyone there, and thank you all for listening.